Yo, welcome guys to episode 6 of the Future Money Show. We got a good one for you today as always. Just want to say thank you for everyone for their continued support. Thank you for your engagement. Gives us confidence to continue to do what we're doing. So today we're going to talk about Bitcoin in Kazakhstan. That one's actually pretty interesting, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We talk about the $2.2 million worth of NFTs stolen and how Opensea got gridlocked because of it. We cover Warren Buffett. We talk about, is crypto centralized or decentralized? I mean, you gather your own opinion there. And then we talk about the elephant in the room known as C19. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you. And we always end it with some good advice as well.
This is the Future Money Show.
All right, guys. So just going to dive into it today. And I think it's a good time because the market is not looking good at the moment. We're talking about the crypto market. So we received a comment yesterday or today, actually, saying that we don't know what we're talking about. Yes, we are not financial advisors and we don't give financial advice. But the very clip he commented on saying that we don't know anything, I said that prices were going to go down and crypto is subject to a crash. And lo and behold, here we are.
Yeah.
The Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is at the lowest it's been in months. In my personal opinion, it looks like we're going to go back and retest. I'm hoping that we're able to hold above 40,000, 41,000. If not, then, I mean, you have to go back and test 38, which I really don't want to do because that's going to, make life tough for everyone in the market. What I did see, which was interesting, where shorts were at an all-time low day before yesterday. People started to short the market yesterday. So usually, when the general sentiment is to take out shorts, then that's when a reversal will come in. And it looks like it might be holding. I guess we'll see when the weekly close comes in and where it closes at. So short term, I'm bearish. Long term, I'm bullish. One thing I will say is when people are trying to understand movements in the market, what you need to understand is movements in the charts will happen before the news narrative comes out to support the activity that went on in the charts. The news that came out to support Bitcoin's drop is the Kazakhstan news. I mean, to be honest, I didn't really know much about Kazakhstan until, besides Borat. So,
Borat's a classic.
It is. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. Great
Shout out
movie.
Borat.
Don't watch it with your kids though. Don't watch it around kids. But so that was, to be honest, the only thing I ever heard about Kazakhstan. But I learned that they are actually responsible for 18% of Bitcoin's hash rate. Now, Kazakhstan shut down the internet because of the protests over gas prices that are currently happening in the region. So Russia has gone to help, US has gone to help. But I mean, when you really think about it, it's a fifth of Bitcoin's global mining network that went offline or went down.
So it went down. What happened to Bitcoin's price? Did it drop a lot? I know everything's been dropping right now.
So Bitcoin's price was, chilling around 46, 45,000. And then you just had that big dive down, one fat red candle.
Right, yeah. In that last week, it's gone down 10%.
Yeah. It consolidated literally just a little bit around 43,000. And now it's sitting at 41.6 right now at the moment. I really think there is a strong possibility that we can go and revisit 30s. But I'm hoping that we can hold this 41,000. That would be nice.
Yeah. What's funny is I feel like the guy who commented on our video, I feel like that's a perfect example of what we were talking about in one of the last podcasts where I was saying that people who are new in crypto see these big dips, right? Like a 20% dip. And they're like, oh, holy shit, it's a 20% dip. Like it's buying opportunity. It's going to go up because they're not used to seeing, corrections like 70%, right? So he's like, when we released that video saying crypto could crash, the market was already crashing. So he was like,
yeah.
what are you talking about? It's going to crash. It's already crashing. Now you should be buying. It's going to go up. You don't know what you're talking about. And then lo and behold, a week later, it's down 20% more, you know? So I think that's just it's a good example of people don't understand like the crazy volatility of the crypto markets.
No, exactly. And I mean, for people that like do research, which I'm sure a lot of our viewers, and shout out to everyone that's been checking out the shorts. We really appreciate the support.
Yeah.
You guys have given us some smiles. I mean, we've had some bad comments, but but it's all a part of it. Yeah. So, for example, Bitcoin's high was posted sometime in November in 2021, and Bitcoin is notoriously known subject to a 50% attack, 50 to 70.
What does that mean?
Right. So it means that the price is due to retrace 50 to 70%.
Okay. So
when it's
when
crashing,
you say 50 to 70% attack, it means like whatever price Bitcoin's at, the risk of it crashing is 50 to 70%.
About that.
Okay.
So Bitcoin does have crashes within the bear market. Like, I mean, I have charted it. I could show it to you guys if you guys want. Just comment below. I'll drop that in for you. But okay, so we're talking from the 10th of November. Around that time is when the high was set. And we're 41% down from the high right now. So we're almost to that 50% retracement.
Oh, that's interesting.
Now, I am a bear on Bitcoin. I've made that known to Paul many, many times, and to you guys, our viewers. I believe when Bitcoin rallies back in this retrace that we'll see our altcoins start to go. But like I said, I'm a bear on Bitcoin. I don't think it's going to reach 100,000 this cycle. I will be happy to be wrong. Like, hear me. I will be happy to be wrong. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I use the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index and the Crypto Fear and Greed Index because it's a really good indicator as to what the sentiment is in the market. And like I've said previously, I tend to do the opposite. So I guess the saying is buy when there's blood on the streets. Now, I'm not talking a 20% retracement or a 30% retracement. Like personally, I go for retracements that are 50% or more. I'm not buying Bitcoin, to be honest. In order for me to buy Bitcoin, I would have to see it go back and test the breakout from 20,000 and fill that gap. That's probably when I would buy it. But it would have to like shoot all the way down there in order for me to see that. So, I mean, personally,
that would be crazy if that happens. If it went back down and tested 20K, yeah, that would be crazy.
If it went back down there and tested 20K, I would say that we're going to be in a prolonged bull market and that we're going to have a super cycle. That's what would have to happen for it to be my belief. But because we haven't just shot straight down there, we've been slowly bleeding down,
super cycle.
Downwards.
That sounds like that's a cool word. What do you mean by that?
So a super cycle, because Bitcoin is taking so long to basically finish out its run. So super cycle meaning that you think Bitcoin is going to have one more big target to set, one more all-time high to set. I'm of the belief personally that 68K, 69K was our top for Bitcoin for this cycle. That's what I believe now, right? But a super cycle would be in that, okay, it's consolidating right now, ranging right now, going back to test previous highs and then our previous support and resistances, but then it's going to go up and set one more all-time high, which would take you around, if you actually chart it, it would take you around 90 to 120,000.
Okay.
But if that happens, that'll make sorry, not to cut you off, but if that happens, that will make your alts go insane. So that 10x that you might think you might get will be a 20x, if sometimes a 30x in that specific coin because of the super cycle.
Huh. What do you think the 10 years down the line, where's Bitcoin and where's Ethereum? Do you think Ethereum's gone?
No, I think Ether will be a 20K coin, in my opinion, in 10 years.
10-year top.
Bitcoin will, to be honest, probably be, you're talking about two halvings, and then another, and then half of a halving. So Bitcoin will probably be, I'd probably say in six figures. I don't, maybe below six figures, 200,000, 300,000.
Only 200,000, really? 10 years from now.
Maybe could be 500,000. But the thing is, it's a store of value. It's not, there's not really any utility behind Bitcoin. All you maxis, drop them in the comments. Come at me, I don't mind. But there's no
Bitcoin's failed with all the times they've tried to add utility to it, like the Lightning Network and everything they've tried to do. You're right, it's just a store of value.
The thing about Bitcoin that makes me really upset, and I'm not hating on Bitcoin, it sounds like I am. I love it because it's really good for branding of the space. Like, people that don't know about crypto, they know about Bitcoin though. I mean, now it looks like NFTs have started to take over for branding sakes of crypto. But when it comes to Bitcoin, if you say Bitcoin, they think of the whole entire cryptocurrency space as Bitcoin. Now, one of the things I don't like about Bitcoin is every single country is pushing climate change, and they're pushing green and clean energy. Now, Bitcoin uses crazy amounts of energy. Like, to do a Bitcoin transaction takes up, basically think of like, if you're living in an apartment, your monthly worth of electricity is what a Bitcoin transaction takes. That's ridiculous.
Do you know how many are done each day?
No, I'm not 100% sure. See, maxis are going to come at me now and they're going to be like, but you don't even know how many transactions it takes a day. It's okay. I love you.
So it says, nowadays, it's difficult to imagine a time when the Bitcoin network processes less than 200,000 transactions a day. So 200,000 homes. That's what you're saying, worth of electricity every single day to mine Bitcoin.
Pretty much. I mean, they're trying to switch to something more sustainable, which is, I mean, obviously good, but
it's not that bad. I feel like that's not that bad. 200,000 homes. Well, I guess it's every day.
Okay, but look at it compared to any other crypto. Like, we talked about HBAR last podcast. That's like nothing, like literally net carbon.
Like, if you didn't have to do it, then why not?
Exactly. And Ethereum is like a fraction of Bitcoin's energy. Like, it's ridiculous.
I think I looked it up. I think Bitcoin is like 2% or something of the world's electricity, or 1%.
That's bad.
Like that.
That's bad. For the fact that only 4% of people in the world know about crypto and it already takes up that much energy. That's true.
If it became,
that's pretty bad.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, the thing about it is, right, and I guess it's like you kind of go like in between. It's kind of tough because you have to draw a line in the sand, because you have like the people that are for Bitcoin, obviously, and I'm not against it because it brings more money into the cryptocurrency space. So don't take me for what I'm saying that I'm completely against it, because it has its benefits to the crypto space. But the energy issue is a huge one. And I noticed that a lot of places use Bitcoin to grab the attention of people. Like, they say, oh, we're going to integrate Bitcoin here. We're going to bring Bitcoin here. We're going to do this. But Congress is literally setting to have a meeting about how much energy Bitcoin uses. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Congress is what makes the decisions of the country you live in. Like, they vote on these decisions. So if they're having a problem with it, then, I mean, you kind of can put two and two together.
What do you know what the atmosphere of this meeting is supposed to be? Is it supposed to be like a meeting on Bitcoin energy usage, in the sense that, like, how are we going to fix this? Or is it going to be, should we abandon Bitcoin? Or are they just trying to understand the Bitcoin because they probably don't understand it anyways?
It's probably a mixture of all three, if I'm going to be completely honest. Because, all right, if I were Congress, for me, and I'm pretty sure, like, because there are people in Congress that ask these questions, I'm pretty sure there's going to be members that are going to ask about a more sustainable currency that they could use. Because one, you don't know who's behind Bitcoin. I mean, we all know Satoshi, but like, you don't know who it is. Yeah. But I can go for Hedera, who you know exactly who's behind it. I can go for Quant, who you know exactly who's behind it. Even Ethereum, you know exactly who's behind it. These things that you can actually like bring into play. And I saw the NASDAQ actually said that the ISO coins that I've been talking about this year will be a good year for them because the banking and payment system are starting to adopt these cryptos into the new railway of the new financial system. No,
when you
they're
say
not.
ISO coins, what do you mean by ISO coins?
So ISO stands for the International Organization for Standardization. Sorry if I butchered that. But basically, these coins or assets that are going to be integrated into the system are going to beef up the current system we have right now. It makes everything more interoperable. And I mean, we're in the digital age, so it's time for a facelift.
Yeah. I feel like we're so close. Like I can see all these new innovations and utilities that crypto are going to provide in the future, especially in the DeFi industry. Like that, I feel like when I first got into crypto and first started learning about it, it was right when DeFi was getting really big. And DeFi seems like the biggest application of crypto, whether it be, I mean, some would argue NFTs are going to be the biggest application of, blockchain technology, but I don't know. I would say the DeFi industry is probably going to be the largest, 10, 20 years down the line.
I don't know about that. Well, I mean, DeFi is huge right now, but I mean, you can only speculate because there's no regulations at the moment.
Yeah,
And
I feel like regulations could only make DeFi grow bigger.
Why'd you say that?
Because as soon as regulation shows up, right, then you have DeFi projects who, yes, some of them might get, destroyed because of regulation, but other ones will be able to adapt, and that'll allow for mainstream adoption. So
you're saying the ones that remain will be insane?
Yeah, like for sure some will get destroyed, but overall the industry will be huge. And then when regulation comes, we'll be able to all use it, like all the DeFi applications.
100%. I mean, as long as like the IRS is getting paid, then I don't care. But because I saw that today actually. So if you with PayPal, I think Venmo, and another payment service that offers crypto, if you spend or transfer more than $600, they have to notify them.
Yeah, that's like the new thing. That's so ridiculous. What do you think about that?
Thank God for Ledger. Thank God for Ledger.
I just think it's so dumb. Like, what is the government trying to do? They're trying to like tax the smallest transactions and target like the people who are the lowest income to tax them more and have even more vision over their finances and their numbers, when they should be putting that focus somewhere else and not on the people who are making no money, not paying them any taxes really because they don't make any money. If you're trying to look into the people's bank accounts who have transactions over $600, like that's ridiculous.
I mean, you just said it, didn't you? They want to control their vision. I mean, I'm not trying to get canceled and I'm not getting into like any conspiracies, but I mean, like, look how much control you've given up the past 2 years. I mean, that's just the reality. And I mean, yeah, unfortunately, the richer have gotten richer. The poor are going to continue to get poorer because I mean, there's not much of a middle class left.
Yeah, it definitely is shrinking.
No, definitely. Now, crypto is amazing. Crypto is one of the best things that we've ever seen in our lives. However, there is a flip side to crypto that people don't often think about. Like everything that has a good side has a bad side. It's just how life works. But when you when it comes to crypto, yes, it's nice. And people like yourself and myself that have gotten into it before mainstream adoption, we know about what's good to come from it because we all get distracted by price action. But it goes way deeper than that because everything you do is tracked. They have complete vision over everything you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's the bad side of it. I mean,
some would argue that's the good side of it.
That everything you do is tracked. I like privacy. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I like privacy, but some would argue that if everything is visible and you're not able to hide anything, then there's a lot less room for manipulation. There's a lot less room for people hiding things, I
mean, that's for everyday people, but when you have the people that run the central banks and the people that are whales in the crypto space. Like, I mean, they manipulate whatever they want when they want. Like, it's
Yeah.
like we're a game to them. Like, if I'm being honest, I was actually talking to my dad a couple of days ago, and like me and him like really got into it because it's facts. Like, we are literally a drop in the bucket in comparison to the institutions. And there's people that are above these institutions as well, and are entities above these institutions that have even more money than them. So, I mean, like, they know what we're doing, but we don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
I guess we'll never know what they're doing.
but exactly, that's the thing. So it's like you're giving up your privacy to not get the same back in return.
Yeah.
So I'm not comfortable with that.
That's true. That's a good point.
Like, don't get me wrong, if it was an equal level playing field for everyone across the board, which is, yeah, in our minds we think that's amazing, but I mean, it's not sustainable. Like, it's not even achievable, if I'm being honest, because we don't live in a perfect world. So
yeah,
it doesn't happen. But
let's talk about COVID. This is a good time to talk about COVID. We're talking about getting our rights taken away and restrictions. How many people do you know who have COVID right now? Everybody has COVID.
My co-host has COVID.
Yeah, I have COVID right now. I feel like shit. And I'm telling you, I would say, I don't want to exaggerate, so I'm going to say 50% of like anyone I'm close to or who are around me have COVID. And not because of me, like just because everybody has COVID. And I just talked to someone today who I hadn't talked to in months, and they're like, oh, I have COVID too. Like, everybody has COVID. And this variant is so contagious. Thankfully for me, it's not very bad, but I don't know if it's just me, but something I've been noticing, not trying to put anything out there, but the people who are getting the sickest around me are all unvaccinated.
Are all what?
They're all unvaccinated. The ones who are, but the thing is though, is people who are vaccinated around me, there have been a couple who have gotten pretty sick, but the majority haven't. But then everybody that I know who's unvaccinated, like I was thinking about it today, there's not people who are unvaccinated that I know of that got sick and didn't get really sick. Silence.
Not gonna say anything. I'm not getting into it. I am gonna let you say what you gotta say.
I'm not making any claims here. I'm just telling you what I'm observing.
No, of course. I mean,
get the vaccine if you want, but
we can agree to disagree. Like, I mean, obviously, yeah, I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. My only thing is, like, I mean, I've always erred on the side of, like, if you get, it makes sense for the unvaccinated people to go through a sickness more than someone that is vaccinated, because you're taking something to help you to stop the spread or to soften your symptoms, not so much to
stop the spread,
or not stop the spread. Sorry, not so much to, like, give it to you full hand. But if you're dealing with it with no additional aid, meaning no vaccine, then yeah, it's going to hit you harder, but it's going to make it a lot harder for you to catch it again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I
mean,
it just makes sense.
Yeah,
it just makes sense. If you get a vaccine, it's probably not going to be as bad if you get it.
But I mean,
it just makes sense.
If you still get it, and that was the point of taking it, it's like,
I guess the point of taking it would be for it not to be as bad.
One thing I want to say, since you brought this topic up, I hate you for doing this, but like, guys, if people have a difference of opinion of like this whole thing, just live with it. Like, it doesn't have to like destroy whatever relationship or friendship or whatever it is that you guys have going on, because it's stupid to argue about it.
Yeah, like, for sure. It's a good point to
like that. Like, that's what makes everyone different. Like, we all have our opinions, and we all should be able to talk and have differences, like, and then, go on about your day. But I can't say, oh, I'm not going to talk to you ever again because you're vaccinated. I can't say I'm not going to talk to you ever again because you're unvaccinated. It literally, like, just think about that for a second. It really doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No one ever talked about a vaccine and whether you had it ever before.
Like, that's another
a year
thing.
ago.
But that's another thing. It's like, don't get me wrong. If you're vaccinated, cool. If you're not, cool. Again, I'm not on any side of the spectrum here. I'm just saying, I've never seen in my life anything like this be so mainstream. Like, I've always been under the impression that your medical history is supposed to remain as private as possible. But there's so many incentives for you to take the vaccine and get vaccinated, which kind of threw me for a loop for a little while, because I was like, I've never seen that before, and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. You're right.
Oh, if you get this, then you get a chance to win this much money, or you can get a donut, or you can get this and that. I'm like, if you need to like bribe me or like incentivize me to take this thing, like there's more to it. Like, I mean, that's just me personally. Like, even if you take the vaccines out of it, if you came to me and was like, yo, I'm gonna give you this car and a bunch of money, I'm gonna be like, why?
Yeah, I think what happened was the vaccine itself and the science behind it is one thing, and then I just don't know how it got connected to politics. Like,
I know how, but I'm not gonna say it because this video won't even make it to the channel.
But it just got connected to politics, and that's why then all the incentives started coming in. And it should really you should leave it to the doctors and the scientists, and
but I mean, even 100%, and even if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Just like, that's the thing though. Like, think about this. Like, at the end of the day, if you are worried about yourself, you go and take care of the things that you're worried about yourself. If you're not worried about yourself, then you can go on about your day. That's literally that simple.
I agree.
Like, if you're worried about something, you're going to take those precautions to protect yourself and those people around you. And if someone is not of the same opinion of you, okay.
Yeah.
It's that straightforward.
Yeah.
If you disagree with me, it's okay. That's fine. Like, it's all good. So, because we've talked about banks, we talked about C19, we talked about Flu-Rona now. Don't even know what variant we're on, to be honest. Yeah, we talked about Bitcoin. Paul brought up an interesting point about Warren Buffett, and I'm gonna let him share that because he found some interesting stuff. So, Paul?
Yeah, it's just I just heard this. I was reading an article and I read this, and it shocked me, and it put perspective into how a lot of people think that we're late. When they get into investing and whatever they get into, they feel like, oh, I'm late to the party. Everybody feels that way when you get into investing, or when you miss an opportunity. You always feel like you're late on something, but you're not always late. And this this investment decision by Warren Buffett kind of exemplified that for me. So in 2018, now this is, I guess, 4 years ago now that we're in 2022, but 3 to 4 years ago, Warren Buffett bought 5% of Apple, which is a lot. He bought a 5% stake in Apple for $36 billion. Now, he missed out. Warren Buffett has notoriously missed out on a lot of the tech companies. He missed out on Google and Uber and a lot of the other tech companies. Yep. So he bought 5% of Apple, assuming this guy's just like, oh, I'll take a stab at Apple. Well, now I don't know if you guys had heard, but this past week, Apple was the first company to pass a $3 trillion market cap. $3 trillion, first company.
Bro, right now, Apple is worth more than the whole entire cryptocurrency space. To put it for you guys to understand that, Apple is worth more than all of crypto right now.
Yep. It's absolutely ridiculous. So his $36 billion investment 3 to 4 years ago is now worth $160 billion. Now, $160 billion puts him way closer to the richest person in the world, just off of that one, 5% stake in Apple. And not only does he own that much wealth, in Apple, just on that alone, guess how much he's collecting in dividends every year from Apple?
Oh, man.
They pay, I think, like a point. Last time I checked, when I invested, it's like 0.7 to 0.8% dividend, so not very high. He's collecting a whopping $775 million in dividends every year.
So lunch money?
Yeah, so he gets to go to lunch a few times.
Lunch at Mastro's, I guess.
Yeah, bro, he's making so much money. So I guess the point of me sharing this is that a lot of people think it's late, and 2018, most people would say you'd think it was late to invest in tech, like it already exploded. And he just made a significant amount of money, in that time. So I would just say to everybody, you're not late. Just get in on what you want to get in on, and hold it 10, 20 years down the line, you'll be good. Trust me.
Yeah.
If it's a good investment.
Yeah. I mean, piggybacking off of that, just make sure that you do your own research, like to make sure it's a credible project that you think can last long. Because like Paul said, like if you're a first time investor, just dollar cost average your way into a position. You can't time the bottom and you can't time the top. I mean, just buy out on a retracement. Like that's just like the only thing I would say. Buy at a retracement always.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a long-term holder, like you're gonna be holding it for a while. So it's not like you're gonna be in any rush to sell it.
Yeah. If you're long-term, just buy all of the dips. Just every time it's dipping, just dollar cost average. So let's dip it.
100%. So I was talking in a group chat recently, and I feel like we should have done this a lot earlier, but I'm gonna do it now anyways, just so you guys know. For those new investors that are getting into crypto, you guys need to really be aware of scams. I've seen a lot of people get scammed in the space, unfortunately, and it's made them not come back to it. There's a number of scams that can happen as well. Like, especially on YouTube. YouTube is like the place where scams are literally right in front of your face. They come in the form of ads. Like, for example, you'll see an ad pop up of Elon Musk talking or whatever, and it'll say, if you send this much crypto, you'll get this much back. It's too good to be true. It is false. It's not true. Also, you'll have scammers impersonating the exchanges that you were on, and they'll send emails to you. They look very convincing, not going to lie to you. A couple of days ago, I almost clicked on one. It was asking me for like some additional stuff, and I was like, yeah, no. But it looked very, very, very close to the actual website. And they oftentimes ask you to click on a link, or they ask you to give your seed phrase. Now, for those that don't know what a seed phrase is, it's either a 12 word or a 24 word phrase that you use. It's known as your key, your private key. Like, say for example, the device that you have your crypto on, or your exchange that you have on your phone or whatever, your phone breaks and stuff like that, you would use this key to get back into your account. And basically, like, obviously don't lose your keys, store them in a safe place. Write them down, put them in a place where you won't lose them and no one else can find them. But yeah, the scams are running wild in the space right now. Paul's gonna actually talk about NFT.
Yeah.
Like the
there's
NFT space.
Big NFT, like a huge amount of NFTs were stolen. So this is a big news event, and it raised questions on the whole security of the whole crypto atmosphere, especially in the NFT space. $2.2 million was stolen worth of Bored Apes from this guy. In order to steal an NFT from someone, there's only really two ways, and DQ was just talking about one. Someone could steal your phrase, which can be done in the form of like sending a link, and if you click on the link, sometimes they can steal it that way. Or so that's one way. That's called malicious, a malicious steal of it. The other way would be if whatever platform is selling the NFT accidentally lists NFT for sale that's not actually for sale, and it gets sold. So that would be the second way. Well, the 2.2 million were stolen from this guy, and Opensea kind of shut down the platform and froze it for a while. This led into a big question on the whole decentralization aspect of crypto, because the idea that Opensea was able to shut down the NFT marketplace is not decentralized. They basically shut down the whole entire decentralized marketplace. Now, does that mean that it's not secure, that it's not decentralized, that it's centralized?
Well, who said crypto is decentralized? That's the question. Because I never said crypto is decentralized. Do you want to know why? For the biggest reason possible. You trade these things on a centralized exchange. Every exchange asks you for your KYC documents and all of these things, and they have to be a government registered legal entity in order for them to to be in operation.
Yeah, like these centralized authorities have to be involved, so it can't be completely decentralized.
No, of course not. And I say that to people all the time. Like, it's different when you're doing DeFi, because that is decentralized. But or if you're doing person to person trades, that's decentralized. But if you're going on Coinbase, Opensea, Magic Eden, Binance, all those stuff like that, no, it's not decentralized at all. Like, actually, that's funny that you said that, and I actually have proof of this. I have a friend, and it sounds like I say like I have many friends. I talk to a lot of crypto people. He showed this to me because I didn't believe him. And I mean, I'm not going to show it to anybody, but because I mean, that's his private business. But someone accidentally sent him 15 BTC from FTX, right? And it was in his account. He took the screenshots, everything, and showed it to me. However, they didn't send him the confirmation email that you typically get whenever you send crypto. Now, a day later, that 15 BTC was moved into another wallet. Now you can track everything on the blockchain. So you can see that it went into his wallet and then it left his wallet, but he didn't action any of these things.
So they were able to get into his wallet and, take it away.
Yeah. And when he emailed FTX person and called them, person hung up the phone.
So they must have just gave it to the dude, right? That was stolen.
He must have did it on accident.
Jeez.
But even me, I've accidentally sent crypto sent it to my address. Like, for example, so when you're sending crypto, you have to send it to the correct address, right? And sometimes cryptos will require you to send to include a memo in there. So, like, for example, if you're sending XRP, XLM, they require you to put a memo along with the address when you're sending it to exchanges. So I was sending some XLM and I left one digit off of my memo, sent it to the right address. And if you think crypto is decentralized, you're under the impression that once you send it, you lose your crypto. And a lot of these exchanges give you warnings that you lose your crypto. I reached out to support, paid $50 in a different crypto, and I got my money back.
Did you have to give them like the address you accidentally sent it to?
Yeah. But here's the thing though. If you send it to the address that an address that someone has, then you can't get it back. It's at the discretion of that person. It's almost like if someone accidentally sends a wire to someone else's bank account, like, I mean, it's better that you do give it back because you'll get in trouble. But I mean, if someone wires money into your bank, you can always just, be a bad boy about it. Yeah, like I'm not gonna say you should ever do that because you never should, but
don't do that.
No, definitely not. But you know what I mean. It's that kind of thing. Except with crypto, it's on steroids because like someone transferred me $2 million worth of crypto into my account. Like, am I gonna really give that back? Yes is the answer every time because I'm not that kind of person. But I mean,
might be a little difficult.
I might think about it a little bit, but but no, I would never. I would obviously send it back. So we'd like to end with some advice for you guys. So for me, for today, I've actually started doing something new. I told Paul about it. I started going for runs, because I like the fresh air and I like to, clear my mind a little bit. But what I started doing is listening to other podcasts like Grant Cardone, Joey Diaz. I love Joey Diaz. That's my guy. I started listening to them when I go on my run. So I usually run I do 5 miles every day. But that's been something that's been helping me a lot. And I mean, it's nice to get out and run in nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm gonna piggyback off of you. After getting COVID, this is the second time I've had COVID. It's made me realize, I need to take care of my body better in the sense I need to get out and run more. I'll go in spurts of times where I go on runs and for a good few months and I'll get in a groove, and then I'll go on vacation for a month or for a week or something, and then I'll come back and I won't get into it again for a month or two. And it happens to me so much. So just getting sick over and over again has made me realize I really need to treat my body better, go for a run, eat more healthy.
Sure.
Yeah, so like that would be what my advice would be. Just kind of piggybacking off of what he says. Also, read books. That's the other thing I've been doing. Like I said a few podcasts ago, I've been trying to read more. So,
What are you reading right now?
good. I'm reading The Intelligent Investor, but I'm pretty much done with that. And I just got this new book. What is it called? Shoot, I forget what it's called. I haven't started yet. Damn. I think it's called Why Life Matters.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like a philosophical book. I like philosophy, so
I like that as well. I just finished reading. I mean, I've read it like a bunch of times, but I just finished reading it again. Think and Grow Rich. It's a classic.
Ooh, yeah, I've seen that book. I want to read that too.
Very, very good book. But I just started Atomic Habits. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it, so I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, another one I want to read is I've been wanting to read Logic's books.
Of course you do.
Yeah, he has two. He just released a new one. So the first one's Supermarket. I'll read that one. But they're fiction books, so they're like
That's sick. That's sick. Something to like close to Rick and Morty, huh?
Yeah, I don't know, something like that.
Probably 100%.
He's making him a movie, so he's like, he's made a soundtrack. He's released a whole soundtrack for his book movie.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, thanks for listening, guys. This was episode 6. Of the Future Money Show. So make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Thanks for all the love on the YouTube Shorts. Please subscribe and follow us on everything else.
Yep.